What's up, everybody? I am Jesse, or GameOverJesse. Some of you all may know me, and here with me is the amazing Mandy Lee plays. Sorry.
Hello.
We have the devilishly handsome Axel the Beast.
Hello.
And
Sorry, I was distracted.
he was distracted by his own looks. That's how handsome he is. And we have the pride of Canada, Daniel. So today we are going to be discussing what we believe are the top 5 most emotional moments in Zelda R. We will each be giving our own top emotional moment, and then for the 5th we will all come into agreement, which may be a little bit of debate on, but I don't expect too much. So
worst case scenario, Jesse lays down the hammer and picks the 5th.
All right. So with this one, starting with you, Daniel, what is your most emotional moment in all of Zelda?
That is tough. There's a couple really hard ones. Like there's some really emotional moments, especially Skyward Sword.
Yeah,
has a lot of emotional ones.
We have Groose turning good. We have Navi flying off. We have the end of Majora's Mask. We have Koholint Island disappearing. We have Midna disappearing, well, not disappearing, but leaving. So there are
we also
tons
have
of
Midna revealing how hot she is.
Yeah. So tons.
Wow. Okay.
Tons of different things to go off of. But what is your most emotional moment?
So, I would say the very most emotional one. Let's see. It was like Midna's lament. You know, like when she's dying, and you're stuck in wolf form, and you gotta go bring her to Zelda, and there's that. You know, that piano music playing, Midna's Lament, I think is what the name of the song is, actually. That one's a pretty good emotional moment, you know? I wanted to go with something a little less obvious, because I know what everyone's going to say from Skyward Sword, but no, this is one that I felt was a little more impactful, because Midna, she's been your companion this whole time, and then she's like, actually, you're kind of starting to get along with her now, and then she's dying, and you're pretty much like stuck in this. You're not exactly your most useful state as well, and sort of this race against time, even though there's not actually a time limit, but to save her. So that's a good one, and she's all weird colored for some reason.
All right, and what is your most emotional moment, Mandy?
I guess it's emotional for me, but not like per se the game. I would say getting out of the Shrine of Resurrection from Breath of the Wild.
That's a good one, actually.
That is.
Maybe because the game took so long to get here or something.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But it was, and then like they had the pan view of Hyrule.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Fills you up. You get all giddy seeing it all.
Yeah. It was a good emotion.
Sets you loose.
Yeah. It's also one of the best ways to show you kind of what to expect, because you come out of there and like Link instantly runs to the edge of the cliff, and the camera like pans out to where you can see this huge world, and then like that's not even what's behind you. So like it shows everything in front of you, but there's so much that's behind you.
But like I said, that could be because finally a Zelda game.
Well, no, but that counts. Yeah.
No, that's emotional.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be sad emotional, right? that's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. What about you, Axel?
Well, he says it doesn't have to be sad emotional, but all the moments I think of usually are. Because, like, I don't know, I found melancholy a really interesting thing in a lot of stories. Not necessarily like crushing sadness, but like melancholy, like, oh wow, kind of situation. I mean, now I don't feel like I can pick the end of Skyward Sword, so I'm like, okay, it's gonna be a Skyward Sword moment. A lot of my favorite moments in that game are very emotional to me, partially because of the song they play. It's not one that anyone knows by name. I think it's called Goddess Harp or something like that. It's basically this slow harp, like slow harp strings, and then there's like marching comes into it. It's a very melancholy song. It plays, I think, right after you meet Fi when you're like talking to what's his name, the owl-looking guy.
Oh, I think he's called
Alan?
Or Gapora.
Well, you know who I'm talking
Zelda's
about.
dad, right? Zelda's dad.
Yeah, Zelda's dad.
Yeah.
When you're talking to him about like what you got to do next, it plays after you first fight the imprisoned. When like Impa's telling you got to open up the time gate, blah blah blah. A lot of those moments really got to me. I think because of that song. I think that song specifically just speaks to me on a level that like blows every other song in the series out of the water. It's literally my top 3 Zelda songs of the whole series. But that's like a couple different moments, and it's reliant on the song. So I'll go pick the obvious one, I guess. Skipper, when you get to his shack in the sand sea.
That's the obvious one?
That, to me. I mean, other than the Fi one. Other than the Fi one.
Oh, see, that's not even what I thought the obvious one was. I thought the obvious one was like Zelda sealing herself in the.
Oh.
It's like, wake me up when you.
We're not on the same page at all, apparently.
No, like. No, that one's up there too. This is why Skipper's ship, or why Skipper's cabin.
Well, you get there and you've been listening to this song the whole time, the Sand Sea Island theme, right? You've been hearing it over and over again as you go to the different islands, and you get to Skipper's shack, and it plays this like really kind of like inspirational but kind of sad version of it. So it's like this climax to a song you've already been hearing, and you've met this character. I'm gonna give it to that, I think, because. Like, comparison to Fi's Farewell, Fi's a character you spent a lot of time with. Skipper's a character you spent very little time with. And yet, when you get to that moment, it gets you, or at least it got me. I kind of felt like crying during that sequence. You see
It's sad, because all his friends are dead.
Yeah, you see the photo of all of the crew and stuff, and I don't know. It was a great moment for me. Side note, I love it that when you Side note, I love it that when you complete the sand ship, you actually it doesn't. I mean, it's still a dungeon, you know, but you actually meet all the ancient robots there. It's like they got it back. I thought that was a really cool little detail.
Even though what always got me about that is I'm like, how'd they fix it so fast? Like this ship got torn apart. It got destroyed.
They're robots.
They're very efficient robots.
Yeah, that's why they're robots. That's why they made them.
That's their job.
It's their job, Jesse.
Yeah.
It's their purpose.
Yeah, it's the entire reason they were created, to fix boats. What did they do when they had no boats to fix? They got lost in the desert.
They made new boats, Jesse. They made better boats.
Well, Jesse, I want to hear yours, and then there's a really good one in the chat after that. I want to hold on to.
I don't see what the chat is, but I'm going to say. Now, I have like 5 floating around in my head, and I actually thought you were going to say it, Daniel, but you didn't.
Okay.
So I'm disappointed. You have failed your city.
He's failed his entire country.
And in the words in the words of the Green Arrow, you have failed your city. No, I would go with the oh gosh, I don't know how people know it better, but I'm just gonna say the Anju and Cafe side quest.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one too.
Oh,
I didn't know if people would know it more as like the Sun's Mask side quest.
No, it's Andrew and Cafe. Majora's
Andrew
Mask
Cafe
is
one.
too character driven for everyone to not know their names.
You get the Sun's Mask, sure, but
no one cares about the Sun's
Mask. No, who cares? Or you get the couple's mask actually.
Yeah,
but no, it's like, who cares? This is the Andrew Cafe side quest. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
Oh, that's a good one.
That one was depressing.
It's upsetting because you finally reunite them, and it's like, okay, everyone's back together now.
Boom.
Now you're all gonna die. You die in each other's arms.
I never got that out of Majora's Mask. I never felt sad playing that game because I knew Link was gonna fix all of it.
Yeah, but in the meantime, everyone died.
You collect people's masks.
I know, but you do it by giving them peace. Majora's Mask was a game where, okay, everyone dies, but it's like, okay. They're okay.
It's like, it's fine. There's
Fine,
fairies.
there are peace.
Everybody can just go to the fairies and like get resurrected.
But I'm serious. That's the whole game. It's like, okay, yeah, I died, but you know, I got to like fucking save everyone.
Yeah. But that depends, like, what kind of timeline we're talking about here. Is that if this is a Dragon Break, like my own personal headcanon is, then everything's okay. Everyone's saved. But if this is actually just multiple timelines, and every time you go back in time, it's a new
Everyone
timeline,
except the bomb
then-
thief.
then
He's the only
Oh, I
one
don't-
that deserves to be lost.
he can die. I don't care about Seikon.
No
The
one
one in
likes
the
that
chat-
game.
The one in the chat was really good. It's from Losing Lemo.
Oh, that can be our 5th.
Yeah, can I just plug it right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Gibdo dad and his daughter in Majora's Mask.
Oh, that
That's
is
a
good.
really good one because it's like she like pushes him back in the closet. She's trying to defend him, but he's losing
Oh
his
my
mind literally, and
Yeah.
no, he's turning into a monster. Like she's kind of just keeping him locked up in this closet to keep him safe, and it's just like that one's super emotional. Yeah, especially as a dad, that gets me.
Alright, going around really quick. We will make this a top 10, but this will be like a speedy 5. So everyone
Okay.
just name off your second most emotional moment. If you want something sort of depressing, take it in the other direction, something happy. So this time starting with you, Axel.
Well, now I can't pick Pious Farewell, so you've rendered me
I'm
into.
sorry. You can still pick that. It's okay.
Yeah.
But it's a sad
take it.
moment.
It could be a
Just take
happy
it.
moment.
Okay. I got one. That's original, and it's not unhappy exactly.
It's the first time you see the snot-nosed kid in Wind Waker.
Get the hell out.
It's an
No,
angry
get
as an
the-
emotion.
no,
It's
I'm-
okay.
I'm-
I get angry emotional when I see him. No! And then you see him again because you have to do that sliding block puzzle.
Oh,
The-
Miss Click in the chat loves your original answer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she
It's
says,
a good one. You can take
"Pies
it.
farewell, I like you."
Yeah. I guess if I had to pick another, like, one that's not sad per se, I would pick, and this is kind of like an epic moment, but it still feels really big to me. The build up to the showdown against Demise,
Yeah.
where you're in the cloud space and there's that cool music playing. Like, I actually almost feel like, because I love Skyward Sword, but I feel like the music you fight Demise to, as good as it is, was like the wrong direction. You spend the whole game fighting to epic orchestral songs. I feel like for Demise, it should have been this quiet, scary song, kind of like it begins when you're in the intro from. But anyway, bottom line is that song that plays just before he's about to fight you, the like revelation that not only is Girahim a weapon, it's like that double like switch around, right? Where it's like, oh, my master, you've come back, and he's like, I'm going to take you now as my sword, but then he's just like, oh. Let's like the double reveal that he was. It makes you think, oh, Demise betrayed him, but then no, that's what Girahim wanted all along. And it's such a great little moment. All Girahim wanted was to be wielded by his master again. And then Demise is like, you can take your time coming to beat me. I ain't in a hurry. And he gives you infinite time to prepare for your fight.
I'll be waiting. Don't worry.
That battle,
Such
the battle down to Demise, where you have to go through like the hundreds of bokoblins.
Yeah.
Oh, Yeah.
Like looking back on it, after playing Hyrule Warriors, it kind of feels like a prelude to Hyrule
A
Warriors.
little bit, yeah.
little preview.
But
yeah.
like a better prelude, because it's not just like button mashing, like you actually
Motion
had to.
control.
Yeah, I liked it. I don't know.
No, I like that moment too.
All right. What about you, Mandy? What is your?
I guess when Link went to the Temple of Time to get the Master Sword, and then Ganon was like, "Got you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's my plan all along." And then
Uh,
he comes out, and everything's like destroyed and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh,
That's actually what I was originally going to pick before Daniel didn't mention the obvious answer.
I mean,
Sorry.
I did that on my second playthrough because my first I didn't notice that it was like oh, I got you."
Yeah.
But the second time was like, holy moly.
Yeah. I actually have a nomination for like the 5th or the 10th one. If you
Yeah.
guys want to hear it. What about when you go to Hyrule Castle in the Wind Waker and you see the Sage murals?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good one. And you know, I was just playing Wind Waker 2, and I got to that point, and I always have to like jump in the water and go just like take it in. Just,
take
you
him
know,
in.
Just go enjoy all those stained glass window artwork. That's a good one.
All right, what about you, Daniel?
Okay, this one's a bit different from where we've been going. This one is A Link to the Past, the very ending. After you beat Ganon, and then you get the Triforce, and the Triforce like speaks to you somehow.
Yeah.
And it just goes on this big dialogue about like, you know, Ganon, he had a tainted heart, and this is why all this bad stuff happened. You have a pure heart, and it's just you go up and make your wish now, and it's just very triumphant, very like. I feel like it was a really good ending to that game.
Yeah.
I'm 100% biased picking this one because, as I said earlier, A Link to the Past is my first Zelda game, but that one like really gets me because it's just like you spend the whole game building up to this and learning about the Triforce, and then you finally get all three pieces and you make your wish, and everything just the Dark World as a race goes back to being the Sacred Realm. Your uncle recovers. And I'm pretty sure he fully died before. Recovers from being dead in the sewers. So, you know, the king is alive again, even though he was incinerated. I don't know.
He's like a skeleton.
Yeah, because you see him like his skeleton sitting in the throne. So, like all this stuff, you know, everything comes back to being good, and it's just like a very fulfilling ending to the game. After, yeah, I like that.
I will pick the end of Majora's Mask, which I don't quite understand, like the very, very ending when it shows the picture drawn on the tree, where it's like Link and the Skull Kid. Because
I can explain it to you.
They weren't really friends, though. They were like acquaintances.
Well, that's the point, though. They became friends. That was like their, I don't know.
It's like, hey, you tried to kill me and everyone else. You're
but that wasn't.
He was
but that wasn't the Skull Kid. That was Majora.
Yeah, he was possessed.
But
you know,
before he got
ring.
Majora's Mask, he was just a bully.
Well, no. There's an important distinction. He wasn't a bully.
He was trouble.
He was a shithead. There's a difference. Bullies take away from people. Shitheads add to the general atmosphere. I am a shithead.
Alright. But yeah,
he stole the mask.
The end of Majora's Mask, I would say, where like the Happy Mask salesman comes out and then he disappears, and he's like, he gives that quote, like a parting something about ice cream and milkshakes, and then he disappears. But that would be mine. That would be my second.
It's a great moment, actually.
That's good.
Yeah.
You know,
basically, Majora's Mask is a game about friendship. So.
Yeah, because it's like the reunion of Tattle and the other one.
Hale.
Yeah.
Hale.
So it's like their reunion. The Skull Kid isn't under the possession anymore. The Happy Mask salesman, for the first time, you see him like outside of the place. So, and then he just vanishes. So everyone's like, is he a member of the Sheikah tribe? Is he a deity?
A lot of theories.
Yeah.
So
maybe he's just a guy.
Yeah, it's like he just threw a Deku nut and ran away.
He's just a guy, but he's just a guy. Yeah. Miss Click in the chat says Link showed kindness to an outcast when others didn't, and it's like, yeah, pretty much, like, because he was absolutely an outcast for being too much of a troublemaker even before he was possessed.
what are we going to agree on for the final?
Final countdown.
I nominate the Sage Stained Glass Mythos.
Okay.
That's a good one. Or even like that, as well as the Hero of Time statue outside of that room.
Like just all of Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, that whole thing, like getting the Master Sword in Wind Waker, is so good. It's.
Alright, what about you, Mandy?
I nominate your sorry, I drew a blank. The Majora's Mask one.
Oh no, that's already on the list. Like on the fifth one, we all have to decide. Yeah, we all picked the fifth, so.
You do the Ocarina of Time credit sequence where everyone's partying.
Woo!
I forgot about
yeah.
that.
That's a good one.
And then the sages all look down on the restored Hyrule from the mountaintop.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now let's vanish into light somehow. Do you think they died, like the champions did?
Well,
I don't think so, but
You know, that was kind of the impression I got. You know, was they went to the temples to go check out, do whatever. Daruna goes in the boss room, and then door locks behind him.
I
You
feel
go
like
in there. Where is he?
yeah, I feel like Twilight Princess kind of illuminated that, where like the sages are just spirit people, and one of them still dies. Like they can still die, but they like have this eternal duty to just be spirit people.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Like, although I don't think the sages in Twilight Princess were like the original sages, not the newly awakened sages.
I know, but what
Yeah.
I'm getting at is
Like,
the
they
sage
just they have the
job.
same power.
Yeah, the
like,
sage
yeah.
job involves not being a person. It involves being a ghosty ghost.
I like ghosty
Yeah.
ghosts.
Ghosty
All right,
ghosts are good.
we're going to default with the Hyrule Castle sequence of Wind Waker because seeing the statue, it's like the only
Yeah.
glimpse of adult Toon Link that we get.
It's
Mhm.
true.
Because it is Adult Link from Ocarina of Time, but it's rendered in the art style of Wind Waker, so that
Yeah.
in itself is a bit interesting. And then you have the Master Sword and everything that comes with it, the
Yeah.
paintings. So it's like it's a big bucket of nostalgia, just like
Yeah.
Yes.
being poured
And-
on your head.
It's more sad in hindsight than when the game first came out, because now we know the split timeline happened, right? We know that Link no longer exists in that timeline, which is why
Yeah.
things went wrong. And we know that he lamented not being remembered as a hero and everything, even though in the Wind Waker timeline, like
That's a good point.
he was remembered as a hero in that timeline.
Yeah.
Makes it sadder.
Science.
Science.
We got breaking news. We got a really important comment down here in the chat. Just X says, guys, here's an idea for Wind Waker 2. It's called Water Waker. Have it be like the Oracle Ages and Oracle of the Seasons.
All right, a link between waters. Here we go.
Yes.
Oh no.
All right. Nice.
Oh.
Alright, I guess we can move on to the next one. We can try to get through it a little bit quicker. So, what I do want to mention is Gus in the chat as a Patreon supporter. Whenever we do the mailbag, he's briefly going to be brought on.
Okay.
And we are going to be asking him
Whoa.
a set of
Okay.
questions. Alright,
Cool.
so just like the last top 5, this one, 5 ways to improve the next Zelda game, is going to get its own intro. So as soon as everybody's ready.
Sure.
I'm ready.
Alright, what's up everybody? I am Jesse, or GameOverJesse as some of you all may know me, and today we're going to be discussing the top 5, maybe 10 ways to improve the next Zelda game to try to make it one step above Breath of the Wild, if that's even possible. Joining Daniel and I for this conversation is Mandy and Axel.
Hello.
He's pointing at
Yo.
them right now.
Yeah.
Mandy, you have your own YouTube channel. If people wanted to go check that out, where could they go?
My channel is Mandy Lee Plays, and my Twitter is at Mandy Lee Plays, so you could check that out too.
Alright, and Axel the Frog.
What,
Where could people find you?
I am just Axel the Beast on YouTube, as well as either Axel the Beast or Axel D Wilder on Twitter and like Facebook and things like that.
Awesome. So starting us off this time, let's go with you, Axel.
Well, I was dumb because I already kind of gave my answer earlier on our recording on the podcast, but
You
to reiterate, I guess.
are with your peers.